What's up, everybody? Paul Hickey here with Data Driven Design and the Nashville Voice Conference. I'm here with QuHarrison Terry of Inevitable Human and Julie Davis. She is the, let me get this right.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
She's the Director of Instructional Technology and Innovation. Did I nail that?
Wow. You are like the only person in the world that has ever nailed that.
How did you know that?
See. Well, I memorize things maybe like the second or third time that I hear them, so that as I'm writing them out, it saves me time.
Sure,
right?
I got it. That's pretty nice.
But even I
that, right?
struggle with remembering it, so I'm impressed you did.
So the title is very expansive.
Long, yes.
What do you do?
Well, sorry to cut you off. So, at the Chattanooga Christian School. I didn't finish the title.
Yeah.
There we go.
The title wasn't finished.
The title wasn't finished.
Whoa.
Now, sorry, Q. What do you do?
Yeah.
So I do work at Chattanooga Christian School here in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Wonderful.
With that title, my role is really to help students, teachers, and parents use technology to leverage it for learning. And so I'm supporting all three roles there at the school.
You're doing everything, basically.
Well, having to do with technology or innovation. So yes.
So they should give her a pay raise.
So there's people
hear
like
that?
They should
there's people
upgrade
like
her.
Jeff Blankenberg from Amazon who we had on.
Yeah.
And there's people like Kathy Pearl from Google who we're gonna have on.
Yeah.
But Julie is my kind of evangelist. She's like the champion for voice. She's my hero because she's out there doing it in the community, at the schools, getting it in the classroom. She's got like a bunch of hurdles to go through in education.
Sure.
Tell us about, what are you up to? What are you really trying to do?
Good question. So I feel like, I always say, I feel like voice chose me, I didn't choose it.
Okay.
It was one of those things when I looked at what the capabilities were, I was hesitantly excited about it. Put it in a classroom immediately, in a middle school classroom, and went, oh no,
It was hectic?
middle schoolers.
Well,
so
they
they're
were-
wanting
they
to
were-
ask all the questions they shouldn't ask.
Yeah,
in
bad
a class.
words and all
Sure,
that.
yeah.
They were
So-
kids. Kids being kids.
Yes.
Okay.
So immediately I was like, I don't think so. Came about that I was able to go to what used to be the Alexa conference.
Did you cut the cord of the...
No, I didn't cut it.
Really?
I just went, we're done here.
Really? I feel like it would have been more dramatic with
Like
the
in
scissors.
the,
Yeah,
scissors,
yeah,
like,
right. You're
like cutting
done.
the phone cord.
Yeah, like, I'm cutting the cord. Kids are like, no.
Yeah, not that. Anything with that.
So the Alexa conference.
So the Alexa conference was in Chattanooga 3 years ago.
Wow.
It's actually when it began. I am a founding attendee.
Woo! Y'all
Don't
hear
know
that?
if y'all have had any
Y'all-
of those yet.
Nope.
No. Were you a founding attendant?
No, I wish.
But I was.
So did you see Bradley marry Alexa then? Because you know this is their honeymoon.
Yeah.
Oh, you know? Oh, you know? She's in. You're the first person to actually know.
Yeah, she's,
Like that's my theory on Bradley. is
Yeah,
he married his Alexa device.
I can totally see that.
You can see
Except
it.
that I do know he has a wife and a child, so that may not work.
Okay, all right, yeah. The
but-
Christian here. They're like, nah, that
We
ain't
don't do
happening.
it. We
That
don't
ain't
do that.
happening.
And we don't personify Alexa. Come on.
That's true. I mean, it could be a guy, girl.
Yes, it
it's
could be.
gender agnostic.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
Alexa is a
Yeah.
spectrum.
But people always, want to use that.
Have you ever seen that the colors on the ring actually
Yes.
change?
Mhm.
So it's a spectrum.
You're right.
It's very inclusive.
That very, very, very true. So where was I?
So you're a founding member of the
founding
Alexa.
attendee?
Yeah,
Yes,
founding attendee.
okay, so-
Saw Bradley get.
Bradley was bringing this to my city, and I just reached out and said, "Hey, can an educator sit in the back of the room and just listen to what's going on?"
And what did he say?
Well, I had already written many blog posts on like the capabilities
Okay,
possibly,
all right.
and I shared those with him, and he said, "Yes, and would you speak?"
Yeah. So he put you
So-
on the center stage.
And so back then it was a center stage wasn't as big a deal. The first year we only probably had 100 people.
100 people is still a lot of people.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
I mean I had
That's 2 or 3 classrooms.
true.
I'll vouch for that.
Yeah.
It's
So-
hard to get 100 people to do anything.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
Like if
true.
100 people watch this video, that's 2 or 3 classrooms.
That's true.
That watched your video.
I'm sure we'll get that, right?
Ideally, yeah. I mean, you see those lights. You see those lights. Yeah. So
So now
yeah.
that has kind of, because I was part of that first little group of people who were really trying to burgeon the idea of voice in the world.
Okay.
It gave me an end to these people. And so I shared my heart.
What
Here's
was
what
your
I want.
idea then?
Oh, I had so many
No,
ideas.
like, yeah, back then, I just want to hear
Yeah,
like, give
so
me one. Yeah.
my first thing was I want there to be a platform where kids can create using voice, not just use voice. I'm all about technology should be about not just consumption,
Yeah.
but also creation.
Okay.
So that's the thing I just keep yelling
that.
year
I love
after
that.
year is like we need the ability for kids to create with voice.
It sounds like Amazon listened to you because we have blueprints now.
So Blueprints has
So
come.
you're-
I'm going to say that was because of me.
See,
Why not?
she's the evangelist.
I am
she's
the reason.
champion.
So that being said, slowly we've been able to create things. The world just kind of opened up, the ed tech world that
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
in, and I've been speaking at multiple ed tech events across the United States, helping districts across the United States. Shout out to Virginia Beach, Virginia. So, but in our school in particular, we're using it in ways
Okay.
from a K-12 perspective.
Now, I hear a lot about Alexa and its capabilities when it comes to reinforcing literacy and your reading abilities. Have you had any experience with that?
Yeah, so that's one area, especially in our elementary school setting. We do center and rotation time. So a teacher might have an Alexa over in the corner using a skill for literacy, for whatever, math, whatever. And so that's going on over here. She's teaching a small group over here. Another small group is doing something over here. So it's almost like having a teacher assistant in your classroom.
Wow, I've never heard that analogy.
There you
And
go.
Alexa as a TA.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
well, I got a question for you.
Okay?
Can this be your new TA?
I would love for that to be my new TA.
Like, what do you think,
Awesome.
Paul?
100%.
Like, I feel like
think
that
it could.
it doesn't have a resume yet, so
Yeah,
it's never
yeah,
done it yet.
but very nice graphics.
It's got.
It's not going to complain, I don't think, about anything.
No.
It's
No.
not going to show up late.
Sure,
we-
sure.
we can even get you a Kevlar cord so the kids can't cut it.
Yeah. So I saw a shirt the other day because teachers are always wearing goofy graphical shirts,
Yeah.
and it said, "Alexa, do my lesson plan." So if we can get
Okay.
her this to do lesson plans, you guys can make millions of dollars.
Think about standardized lesson plans. I mean, if you can
Why couldn't
standardize
you do
it,
lesson plans,
every
right?
kid
Yeah.
goes through. But then, like, you wouldn't have a kid like me that's like out of the box and like.
But
it
but,
fell
but
off
that's
the
why
phone.
I'm still in the classroom.
Okay,
We're
all
not-
right. So
she's
you're not-
just an assistant.
Oh,
she is
she's just the
not-
assistant.
She will never ever, and when I say she, it makes me mad when I do that. It will never ever ever take the place of the teacher. Relationships matter. Do you hear that?
I love that, Paul. I'm done. You know,
I told you Julie was a rock star. I told you we needed to have her on. She's doing things that other people here are not doing.
I'm still trying to process the teacher assistant Alexa.
So one of the things, I had students here with me yesterday, and they actually were part of my presentation. They're international students. So there
Yes.
were 4 Asian students
Yes.
that came, and we shared how we're using it in the classroom as well.
What was one of those examples?
So we put study guides on the Alexa, and then the kids, it's almost like, think about when you were studying growing up and you had a flashcard and you read the question and then you turn it over and
Oh.
see the back. So we were using Alexa in that
That's
capability,
awesome.
but it helps them with their verbalization because they
Oh,
have to say it
right.
correctly,
Yeah.
or Alexa says, "I'm sorry, that's wrong."
Okay.
So it helps them work with learning how to speak English as well.
That's genius. And
Thank
you,
you.
and you came up with the study guide idea.
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah. We
built it
use
up?
voicelets. Have you guys talked to the Sanjay from Emerson College yet?
No, I have not.
So Sanjay has a launch program. Emerson College is in Boston.
Okay.
And their program created this platform that allows educators to use. It's called Voicelets.
Okay.
That's fascinating. Alrighty. I need to go back to school, I feel like, after this interview.
Okay.
There's one right down the room.
There is? Your school?
Yes.
You're the director of education technology?
Oh, he missed
You know-
it.
Director of Instructional Technology and Innovation.
Every time.
I messed that up. You know, the ed tech threw me off.
Yes, right,
So
right,
y'all know what kind of grades I got in school.
Fill us in on what we're building together.
Yeah, you didn't even know that. We just dropped a bomb on him. We've actually been talking. When I talked with our students in class and realized that, there are more things that we could help them with. And one of the things that they really are concerned about is when other people come into the international program, they have questions, but they don't know how to get those questions answered. A, because they're shy. They don't speak the language well, so they don't want to just walk up and try to ask things. But B, they just don't know where to go to ask the questions.
Right.
So your fine fellow here, Paul, is going to create an onboarding skill for future kids coming into our international program.
That's press-worthy.
Yes,
Yeah, so
I agree.
you got to blow that up.
Okay.
I can't
let's
wait
do
to
it.
read about it in like the Boston Globe,
There you
the
go.
New York Times.
I'm thinking that's where it's going, straight
you
there.
are.
We'll have Bradley put it in his new puddles.
I mean, it'll for sure be at dataoveropinions.com. It might not go anywhere else, but it'll for sure be there.
But it'll be useful, and that's our goal.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Our goal is for it to be something that's useful. And in my opinion, anything that we can create with it that can help students in their learning process, then I'm a fan.
Yeah.
So I appreciate your willingness to take that on.
Well, thank you for giving us the opportunity and for helping our youth and our teachers.
Yeah.
The youth are the future. They always win because they've got more life to live than
That's
all
true.
of us, right?
Right.
So it's cool to see that infrastructure. Usually technology and innovation is held for people that are at the forefront of the industry. We're bringing it downward and saying, hey, you guys get a shot or a chance to interact with it. I just get a little bit afraid because we live in an era where you could possibly meet your match, like the one that's for you, through a swipe.
That's true. So true.
And that's only
What if you
in
could do it
15
by
years.
voice?
In 15 years' time, though. Like
Yeah.
15 years ago, there was no such thing as a swipe.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Today, you could swipe you don't even have to
Swipe,
go.
did you just almost say swipe your life away?
You could swipe your life away. I had to catch myself, but you
caught him.
can read lips. I was like, no, I don't want to say that. But you could swipe your life away. I mean, and that's the world we live in. Kids,
Right.
they have.
So what we've got to do is we've got to teach kids how to look at that through critical eyes.
And that's
what I want to do is make sure that they're seeing things not just for a fun thing, but how does this really impact my life?
Yeah,
and by
yeah.
teaching them things like this, I think that's an important part of it.
And it gives them more options and opportunity. If you don't have this study guide where you can practice your English ability, then you have to kind of do it with yourself, and there's no correction.
So my whole goal as the director of instructional technology and innovation is
Say that title.
Yes, is to make sure that my students have a tool belt full
Yes.
of things that when they leave our school, they're equipped for college or whatever's beyond for them, so that they've got, okay, I know that I can use YouTube to go find how to do that, or I can use this, and that. So that's what I feel like is part of my role, is making sure they're equipped for their future.
That's wonderful.
It's awesome.
Alrighty. Well, I've
Thanks,
got a
Julie.
lesson plan for tonight.
Okay.
How
And I've got homework.
That's
you
what
go.
I'm
I've got
done here
homework.
then. I've given
So
you
we're
both
good.
something to do. I'm a
Yeah.
typical teacher,
Yeah.
right?
and I'll catch you in the future.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining
Thank you.
us. And Paul, it's always a pleasure.
You too, Q.